Hello again. I think I just got back from the Godzilla about an hour ago, and I liked it very well. That's definitely not as good as as I was hoping for, but oh yes, definitely better than Pacific Rim, immensely given, and also much better than that terrible 1998 remake they did, and since no more waste of Matthew Broderick genre, no more. Uh, uh, Sean Diddy comes up with a couple of Diddy doing the end credits song, and no CGI Zilla either. I mean, that this new design is thankfully much more faithful to Toho's original concept. In fact, they even did everything all in production to make sure everything was done correctly this time. And I could definitely say that Gareth Edwards can definitely do these things actually quite well, despite actually not being too on board with this whole thing the first time. And since he actually refused when I first offered it to him, not too politely as I found out, but when it wrote it to him, in turns out he actually managed to give people a when you think about it, it has a lot less like the typical. It's actually not like more the 1984 film as opposed to the many sequels 60s and 70s where it's less monster action and more like a disaster film, as well as a parable for nuclear energy that it's definitely as relevant and today as it was in 1954, if not more so. But they alluded to that date a few times throughout the film, as when they first contact with him came, tying the 60th anniversary of the franchise very nicely, and of course, I see spirited performances from both Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ken Watanabe, and Bryan Cranston all done very well. Definitely much more Walter than Hal. I mean, just go watch Breaking Bad, and you'll see it in an instant. And if you haven't already, and oh yes, as even though some elements may seem like they were made on bad crystal, I mean that even though science is technically advanced, some of these things do not make sense in the incident, but for the most part, the campy elements are downplayed severely, and that's grittier and much more fearful in this day and age, given how we are still dealing with very fragmented political structure as well as an economic uncertainty, and as a result, I wasn't really too keen on Pacific Rim, and actually not being able to decide whether I wanted to embrace the darker aspects or campy aspects, and because even though the action in both movies is still very good, that I think this one definitely has an edge in the story department. And even and I have seen Pacific Rim by the way, and they say that it didn't really take again, but this definitely has more potential of movies than the Pacific Rim did in my opinion, and unlike Leatherback, Godzilla is a bona fide icon. I mean, in Leatherback, would definitely he just be a pile of of that blue spooge under in the mind of Godzilla. I mean that since I just okay, and definitely he can say that's definitely worth seeing. That may not have been as good as Captain America or X-Men in my eyes this year, but definitely worth it. So and externally the splat score is definitely very haunting. That not only did they get the raw idea of an expansion to make a subtle thing with the strings of shamisen, a Japanese instrument that reverberates with the whole thing, and as for the Kanto region, and this has the hope that if they try and reboot a certain other Japanese franchise very close to me, they don't do anything and don't make any mistakes they haste again. So my final rating is 3 out of 4, and have a cut here, and do a trailer type a bit differently this time. Okay, so first one I'm going to talk about is that they did something a little different this time. They showed us the first 5 minutes of How to Train Your Dragon 2, and those look very good. Much like the opening act of the first film, which I also love, by the way, and I'm really going to be looking forward to seeing this one that takes part with all the dragon racing and really shows how well they can show off the flying the best dragons with Astrid, had Rough Nut, Tough Nut, Rich Legs, Eggs, and their new mounts, which include the and also that Gobber and Bilge have grown proud of Hiccup, who is still flying toothless and very spectacular scenes, and just look at the way the angles, the lighting, that almost looks like it's just close to being there, and the way they interact. Hiccup is exactly like the person who I am this day and age, since it's one thing that in the years since the last film he's gotten a lot older, and much like I have that, have that, and definitely going to be interested in seeing them since the voice cast seems very enthusiastic as I am for this film, and opening Friday the 13th I plan on going, and that next up Maleficent, which I'd definitely be interested in seeing, since how like Sleeping Beauty is one of my favorite Disney films back in the day, it still is, and Maleficent, and definitely had to be one of the most effective changes from the source material they had a villain on that, and they made her genuinely much more threatening than they did, and definitely would be willing to go see a movie with her as a villain protagonist and play with none other than Angelina Jolie. That, given how she made this film for her children, and definitely going to be the feature film debut with productions of Robert Stromberg, and definitely looks like a lot of dark fantasy, Hanksy, and the story I just had to find out a bit. And next one, Earth to Echo. I'm still not interested in that one because just how many ripoffs, I'm still trying to balance how many ripoffs I can count in these promotions showing since, and yet, and it's like Pacific Rim was last year. That I'm sorry about I'm knocking this film for people to like it, but I mean I liked it fine, but it was just okay in my opinion. That okay, so on one hand, and here's the ripoffs I can count so far. I mean we have the Goonies, Attack the Block, E.T., Close Encounters, and the Goonies, and the second one's definitely going to be reason I'm not going that one because it's just going to be it's pretty much like a lighter, softer version of Attack the Block, which is a movie I love and really don't want to see doing one like this. How that and and so personally, if you have kids, just take them see Hard Dragon 2, who if you possible sense, and but the last one, another promotion of Guardians of the Galaxy, which definitely going to enjoy that. Despite being unfamiliar with the comics, I'm definitely going to be looking forward to this one. That could smell a potential August record. And with this one, I'm finally breaking the one set by Warren Ultimatum in 2007, and also that director James Gunn's confirming something about the plot of Avengers 3 in 2018, and that this motley crew of a bunch of misfits that's consisting of Drax, who's played by Batista WWE. Hopefully he'll be more Dwayne The Rock Johnson breaking out film than John Cena was. Who's that? Gamora, played by Zoe Saldana, who definitely has experience in this sort of situations, given how she's a new horror and also alternative Star Trek films, as well as as Neytiri in Avatar, which also James Gunn's working on sequels, by the way. Of course, one's getting a lot of attention, just for his very presence. Rocket Raccoon, voiced by Bradley Cooper, and he may look cuddly, but don't be fooled. I mean, like Olivia Raccoon, he will not only tear your face up, but unlike one, he is quite adept with firearms and blades. And definitely I think he's the right member of the Wolfpack to take part in this event, his escapade, and next up is Groot, voiced by Vin Diesel, and I like him very much, and Hutch, and given how he's a giant tree, almost like a slightly smaller ant, and he doesn't speak very much. He says like one sentence, 3 words, but in that voice, I think it'll definitely be the same amount impact as puny God had in the Avengers, from the Incredible Hulk. And last but not least, is Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, played by Chris Pratt, and definitely, since I definitely just made that Parks and Recreation went off the air, definitely planning on finishing it. I want to get my Netflix reinstated. And he's definitely a guy who I want to see break out in movies, and since even though he had to lose a lot of weight, he to play a role like this is that how he's written definitely is definitely suited him, and him. I'm still not too big on the Lego movies, despite the fact that I have this cup from it, this knowledge cup that I'm not too big on, since looking at Pokemon preams, and I'm not even gonna pick it up. Of that, but this is gonna be his bigger breakout, for I believe that since and since it just gonna be suiting him so well that and this whole bizarre the premise that I just love this sort of thing, and that so I will often pass on being a movie for being not weird enough than too weird, since this whole thing just gonna be malice to me that even though that I definitely wasn't in my hand, it was in the side that liked Man of Steel last year here, and I do concede here that for DC, I really hope they can make get this Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice work. Probably gonna have a discussion on that. I'd like to have a discussion on that soon, but since Marvel have been established, they're not gonna afford to take a lot of gambles, and this looks like one could pay off. And given the tone of the movie, that I think the people that are working on this awfully like Cowboy Bebop film could definitely learn a thing or two from these guys. And anyway, that's all I have to say in the comments below. My finals are gonna be taking place by the time you see this, and then I'll be off for summer, I'll be able to do more videos, and I shall see you later.